In Italy, the prolonged wrangling between the government's coalition partners has come to a head as former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi tries to force new elections. As a consequence, share prices fell, while the amount of interest that Rome has to offer to get investors to buy its government bonds rose. That widened the so-called spread on bonds, the difference between the interest on Italian 10-year bonds and their German equivalents. But even before this, the uneasy marriage between centre-left and centre-right that followed February's inconclusive election has been blocking efforts to reform the country's finances. That's seen as vital to pulling the Eurozone's third largest economy out of recession, as well as bringing the budget deficit under European Union limits. The latest uncertainty has prompted warnings that Italy's sovereign debt rating is at risk, which could mean it having to pay more to borrow money. The political crisis provoked by Berlusconi's People of Freedom Party ministers resigning their cabinet posts risks throwing Italy back into financial chaos. After 5 months of fragile stability, the situation has the potential to implode, dragging the country and possibly the entire Eurozone into a devastating crisis. Financial analyst Maurizio Mazziaro, do you think we're yet again at the edge of the abyss?
It's possible, though the sectors which would actually see the greater downsides are the financial and banking sectors. I must point out, however, that although right now we're seeing some figures pointing to a feeble economic recovery, and with OECD forecasts also confirming that, at the end of the day, the main issue is always the same: public debt. According to our estimates, the August reading will probably point to a slight recovery and a fall in the debt of 10 billion euros. However, by the end of the year, we will once again see Italy's debt reach an all-time high.
Even as we speak, there are rumours that a rating agency is about to downgrade Italy because of the lack of political reforms. Are financial speculators ready to target Italy yet again?
Actually, investors are carefully evaluating the situation, and the stock market situation on Monday was not that dramatic. Even the increase of the spread on government bonds has not been huge. Ironically, the political crisis could actually have a positive influence on the budget deficit. The deficit to GDP ratio is currently forecast to go above 3%, around 3.1% according to the government, and around 3.2% according to the IMF. But this could instead reduce to 3 or 2.9%. That's if the planned rise in VAT and the reinstatement of the second tranche of the government's tax on properties results in the state getting bigger revenues.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Enrico Letta will ask for a vote of confidence in Parliament. What are markets and investors betting on?
If the majority in Parliament is actually able to put together a new, albeit shaky, government, which manages to make a few reforms and, at the very least, introduces the 2014 budget draft law, then the markets could calm down. If instead of that the country faces new elections, then that's a huge question mark, and markets could really see Italy negatively, leading to a significant increase in the spread. But most of all, they would focus negatively on new public debt auctions.
On the Milan stock market, shares associated with Berlusconi's Mediaset fell in value. Plus, the political turmoil inside his party could lead to a split, with a new group emerging that would back the government. So in the end, who pays the price for this? Is it just Berlusconi?
Actually, I think that in this situation, it's the Italian people who are paying. We have two very big problems: a huge public debt and an economy that isn't growing. They're both structural issues from an economic point of view. So the ones who will pay the bill at the end will be all Italians, every single one of them.
Grazie Maurizio Mazziaro.
Grazie a voi.